Hey now, this is 3x5 with Steve Bennett, and this is
Paula Bennett.
And you are here for episode 8 of 3x5 with Steve Bennett. I want to thank all 9 of you who watched last week's episode of 3x5, the Italian American episode, one that's very important to me. So anyone who watched that, you can email me. I will come to your house directly and shake your hand. I appreciate all 9 viewers. We have a great program today. Paul is with us. And we got 3 new lists, one in pop culture, one in sports, and one in wrestling. I want to thank everyone at the North-South Connection for having us on their YouTube page, even though I'm sure they're contemplating canceling us in backdoor meetings as we speak. But for now, we're still here. We got a new list every Tuesday. And let's get started with episode number 8. Paul, anything to say before we start going?
Let's get moving.
Let's get moving. All right, let's start with wrestling.
I didn't want to say rolling because that would just be funny.
Fair enough. Top 5 SummerSlam matches, 1988 to 1992, with a caveat. I can only pick each wrestler one time and only could pick each event one time. So there's one match from each event, and each wrestler is only on the list one time. Let's see what we came up with. By the way, this is a really fun exercise, and if you want to do it, I'd love to see your list down in the comments. Peter Winson already sent me his. I'll throw him in there when this goes up. So let's see what you come up with. Here we go. Number 5, Power and Glory defeated the Rockers at SummerSlam 1990 in the opening match. Now, Shawn Michaels was injured, and they took him out early with the chain, and then the Power and the Glory just whooped poor Marty Jannetty's ass.
Poor dude.
Yeah, for a good 10 minutes. And, of course, this was in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. They got the night started, and they ended it with their glorious finisher, one of the great tag team wrestling finishing moves of all time. So, number 5, we have the 1990 SummerSlam, and we've burned Hercules, Roma, Jannetty, and Michaels. Let's see what we got at number 4, a 6-man tag team match from SummerSlam 89 in New Jersey. Hacksaw Jim Duggan teamed up with Demolition to face the Twin Towers and Andre the Giant. Hacksaw, of course, painted his face to be a Demolition. This is the only acceptable 3-man Demolition. I don't want to see Crush if I can avoid him. But really cool match here. There's 2 6-man tags in WrestleMania 89. I could have went with either one. The other one might be a little bit better match, but I picked this one because of the star power. Who's your favorite guy at all these 6, Paula?
Well, if you're saying bad guys, I'll go with bad guys first.
Okay.
I like Andre a little bit as a bad guy because my other favorite.
Do you prefer Andre as bad guy or nice Andre?
Nice.
Nice Andre, okay. And then you got a guy in the good guys you like the best?
Boss Man.
Well, Boss Man's bad here, though. This is when he was with Tim Towers and he was a Slick. These are the good guys here.
I want him.
You want Hacksaw? Give me a hoe.
Ho!
All right, I've heard better hoes. All right, number 3, you'll see I broke my rule here a little bit. But I figured, singles match, whatever. And I did it for this girl right here. SummerSlam 91, the Boss Man defeated the Mountie in the jail match. And I had to include this one because it's Paula's favorite match of all time.
Favorite of all.
Paula, tell us about the jail match. Tell me all about it.
So whoever loses has to go to where they get
to jail.
Yeah. And Mountie defeated his.
Boss Man beat Mountie. Yep.
And then
all night on the pay-per-view, they kept going back to the jail, right?
Yeah.
And showing him.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get his picture taken, and the cops tricked him. He did his fingerprints, all the stuff. Then he was crying in the jail, right?
Yeah, but then he saw these weird people, and I like them.
Yeah.
Pop up, and I was like, ah!
And what was Jimmy Hart saying? I'm gonna call my lawyer, baby. I'm gonna call my lawyer. Yeah.
I'm gonna call my lawyer. All night long.
Yeah. So a little bit of a rule break there, but I did it for this girl right here.
That's not breaking. To me, that's not breaking. But if it's to anybody else.
Okay. If anyone's got a problem with it, you talk to Paula. I'll give you your phone number. Number 2.
I don't have a phone number yet.
Fair enough. Number 2, the Mega Bucks lose to the Mega Powers. SummerSlam 88, the main event. Jesse Ventura is the referee. Paul and I have been going through SummerSlam 88, watching all the different matches, so I know what to pick for Cronoso when I draft 13th. I know what horrible match to pick, since for some reason whoever runs that show, it gives me the worst draft picks every month. But SummerSlam 88, Hulk and Savage, they defeat the Mega Bucks, Andre and Ted. They were hinting kind of the whole show that Jesse was on the side of the Mega Bucks. And they even show him taking some money early in the night. But in the end, he does the right thing after Elizabeth strips down to her bikini. What was it? Teeny weeny, tiny yellow polka dot bikini, whatever it was, and froze everyone in the building. She was showing off the red shorts, I remember. And I remember as an 8-year-old, my eyes getting like this big when it happened. But that's number 2. Number 1, Davey Boy Smith defeats Bret Hart at SummerSlam 92 in London. The main event, they went on last, and just a masterclass by Bret here. This match, of course, famous for Davey saying, "I'm fucked," because he was apparently gassed out early, forgot the spots. But Bret carried him through. Davey wins the belt. The Wembley crowd was amazing. This was my all-time favorite event at Wembley until 2021, when Italy defeated England at Wembley to win the Euros. Forza Azzurri. But this is number 1 on this list. So number 5, Power and Glory defeat the Rockers. Number 4, Jim Duggan and Demolition defeat Andre and the Twin Towers. Number 3, Bossman over the Mountie at SummerSlam 91. Mega Powers defeat the Mega Bucks at 88. And number 1, this match right here. Now, I did sub in Bossman and Mountie at 91 for my girl here to be compliant. But remember, for your list, you want one guy. Each guy can only be on once, and each card can only be represented once. And if I had to sub something out in 91 to be list compliant, there were many choices in 91. A lot of great stuff. That's probably my favorite SummerSlam. All right, next, the sports list brought to you by the Sportscasters podcast. Coming up on the 31st will be the Major League Baseball trade deadline. And I thought it would be fun to look back at my top 5 favorite Major League Baseball trade deadline trades. Number 5, 1997, Mark McGwire was traded from the Oakland Athletics to the St. Louis Cardinals for TJ Matthews, Eric Ludwig, and Blake Stein. McGwire was supposed to be a rent player. His contract was up, but he did end up re-signing with the Cardinals, of course. In 97, he went on to hit 24 home runs, 42 RBIs in 51 games. But the Cardinals did finish 73 and 89 and missed the playoffs. McGwire hit 70 home runs with 147 RBIs in 98, 65 home runs with 147 RBIs in 99. But the Cardinals failed to qualify for the playoffs those years. They did make the playoffs in 2000 and 2001. The last 2 years McGwire was there, but they lost the NLCS in 2000, and they lost the NLDS in 2001 to the eventual World Series champion, Diamondbacks. So a mixed bag with McGwire here, but of course his run in 98 with Sosa sort of brought the baseball fans back from their strike after the 94 strike. And I think the Cardinals would do that trade over and over again since Eric Ludwig, Blake Stein, and TJ Matthews are all jabronis. All right, number 4. Let's go way back to 1987. And this is the Detroit Tigers making a deadline trade as they trade John Smoltz to the Atlanta Braves for Doyle Alexander. Now, before you laugh too hard, before the trade, the Tigers were a game and a half behind the Blue Jays. And they ended up winning the division and going all the way to the ALCS, where they lost to Minnesota, who eventually won the World Series against the Cardinals. Now, Doyle went an astonishing 9-0 after the trade deadline, but he only pitched 2 more years for the Tigers, and then he retired. Now, this guy, John Smoltz, that the Tigers gave up for Doyle, well, you know what he went on to do for the Braves. A Hall of Fame career, Cy Young winner, closed more than 50 saves one year, more than 20 wins another. Really could do anything. One of the great golfers, and now the color guy, the voice of baseball on Fox as well. So that's number 4. Number 3, the year 2000, the Yankees traded Ricky Leday, Jake Westbrook, and Zach Date to the Indians for this guy, David Justice, my all-time favorite baseball player. I know I've said it on the show before. Justice, the Braves were 3 games, the Yankees were 3 games back of the Blue Jays at the deadline. Justice ended up hitting 20 home runs, had 60 RBIs in 78 games. The Yankees won the division. They won the ALCS on a game-winning home run by Justice in Game 6, which Justice was the ALCS MVP. And then they won their 3rd straight World Series. Dave Justice, great trade by the Yankees. My guy goes from the Indians to the Yankees and makes a huge impact and wins another World Series, his 2nd. He had, of course, won in 95 with the Braves.
Wow.
Number 2, let's go back to 1989. The A's traded Greg Caderet, Eric Plunk, and Louis Polonia to the Yankees for Ricky Henderson, the all-time leader in stolen bases and runs scored. The A's, of course, played in the 88 World Series, but lost to the Dodgers. Kirk Gibson's home run was once number 1 on this list. And they added, of course, Ricky here and go on to win the World Series in 89 against the Giants, a crazy World Series with the earthquake before Game 3. So a good trade there. Ricky was also the ALCS MVP. So Justice in 2000 and Ricky in 89 are the ALCS MVPs, and they're number 3 and number 2. Now, number 1, 1993. The Braves were 8 games back of the San Francisco Giants when they traded for this guy, Fred McGriff. They gave up Vince Moore, Donnie Elliott, and Melvin Nieves. But the Braves, like I said, 8 back. They win the division with 104 wins to the Giants' 103 wins on the last day. Now let's go back to the trade deadline. So the Braves trade for McGriff, who's injured kind of at the time, banged up. He's not on the IL, but he's injured. But they say, we're going to put you in the lineup. So McGriff kind of rushes to Atlanta. And while he's arriving there, there's a fire at the stadium, at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. There's a huge fire, and the game's going to be delayed. So he got a little bit of extra time, hits a home run in the game. The Braves win the game, a crazy day, and off they go, erasing an 8-game lead, winning the division. But I think it kind of gassed them as they lost in 93 to Curt Schilling and John Kruk and Mitch Williams, the Philadelphia Phillies, who, of course, then lost to the Blue Jays on the Joe Carter home run. So there is the top 5 Major League Baseball trade deadline moves, my favorites. McGuire to the Cardinals, Smoltz to the Braves, Justice to the Yankees, Ricky Henderson to the A's, and Fred McGriff, the crime dog, the most recent inductee into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to the crime dog on that. All right, one more list today. And it is the top 5 best ways to tickle Paula. At number 5 is the stomach. His stomach. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. All right. This is the pop culture list, the North-South Connection. Those guys sponsor this one. And we have the top 5 movies about summer, but no baseball movies. We already did the top 5 baseball movies, so they're off of there. Also, no fucking My Girl either. That movie stinks. I don't know why they made that movie. It's absolutely horrific. The ending is a nightmare. Bees are horrible. No My Girl, okay? awful movie, should have never been made. All right, number 5, The Karate Kid 2.
Always look eye, if you guys can see it.
Yeah, always look eye.
I did try my best to write always look eye.
Oh, is that what you wrote? Always look eye? All right. Yeah, Karate Kid 2, of course, starts.
And he says, okay.
Yeah, Karate Kid 2 starts with Daniel coming home from the prom with a busted car. We find out that Tramp Alley with an eye has two-timed him with a football player at UCLA and also has crashed his car. We also find out that his mother is going to Fresno for the summer for another job. Let's talk about Daniel's mother for a second. She moves Daniel from Newark, New Jersey, all the way to California for an opportunity in computers. That's in Karate Kid 1. We're not even a half an hour into the movie, and she's already a hostess at a restaurant. Now, why they needed to move to California for her to be a hostess at a restaurant is beyond me, but they did. And now she needs to go to Fresno for some kind of job. Well, Mr. Miyagi is building a house in the backyard for the refugee, Daniel. As they're building, the mailman comes. We find out Mr. Miyagi's father is ill. And for summer vacation, Daniel and Miyagi travel to Okinawa and visit his homeland. A great movie, super underrated. I hate people who are like, oh, Karate Kid, the sequels stink. No, Karate 2 is great. Karate Kid 2 is great, great, great. One of the top 5 best movies about summer, Karate Kid 2. Number 4. Yes.
Sorry if he says a bunch of swear words, kids, if you watch this.
Do I, here. Smack. Okay, I deserve that.
He said it once.
Yeah, I deserve that. All right, and I got a swear jar too, right? All right, here. Where's my wallet? Just put my whole wallet in the swear jar.
No,
all right.
No, you don't have a swear jar, not yet.
I'm sorry, I got mad about my girl. I'm sorry, baby.
You don't have a swear jar.
All right, number 4. Weekend at Bernie's.
I never watched that before.
The guy's dead. See, Bernie's the boss. All right, and Bernie invites these guys to his beach house. Okay, for some
Perfecto.
Like Perfecto. They invite these guys over for the beach house. They get to the beach house and they find out Bernie's dead. But they really want to be at the beach house. So instead of, calling the police and telling them, hey, Bernie's dead, they drag him around all weekend and pretend he's alive. And they hold up his hand to wave to people. And it's a hilarious movie. I'll show it to you soon. I know you haven't seen it yet. It's really good. It's a great summer film. Weekend at Bernie's 2, not so much, but Weekend at Bernie's, really good stuff. Number 4.
Do you want to tell him who Perfecto is?
We'll get into that another time. Yeah. All right. Number 3, American Pie 2. The second American Pie movie. Of course, the guys and girls are home from college.
You did not tell me that one either.
No, I haven't. Yeah, this is a little bit when you get older, we'll watch American Pie. Okay. You're a little young for American Pie yet. But the guys are home for summer and they get a beach house as well. Mm-hmm. And they get to hang out down at the beach. They also have a job. They're painting, and they have it always going to build up to this big party, and Tara Reid is going to be there, and the dork that she dates in the movie's all nervous about it, and what's her name's at band camp. We know what happens there, and Stifler is funny, and I don't know. I like American Pie movies. This kind of movie is kind of lost right now. These kind of raunchy, funny, late teen, early 20 comedies that kind of ruled this era. And I know there was one that came out this summer that I heard is really good. I haven't seen it yet. But I got to give American Pie 2 its props as the number 3 best movie about summer.
This one's not on the list, but Bunny wanted to include it today. It's a show, but...
Okay, show everyone Bunny. What does Bunny want on the list?
He wants Cobra Kai, but it's...
Cobra Kai, yeah, it's a show, not a movie, Bunny. I'm sorry. If it was shows, it'd be on there, but it's not. All right, number 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. I've been watching it every year, at least once a year since 1988. Paul has seen it, The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors.
Starring the great John Candy, the late great John Candy. Rest in peace. We miss you. And Dan Aykroyd as well. John Candy's family. They're going to go away to the woods. They got a cabin rented. They're going to spend their summer vacation there. Out of nowhere, the rich and snobby Dan Aykroyd and his family, with those two weird girls. Remember the weird girls?
Yeah, they're like Wednesday, but
yeah,
not.
But with red hair.
And more
creepy. Sure. So his family comes down, and hilarity ensues. And really, we find out that Dan Aykroyd has motivation to try to steal some money from John Candy, who's called Chet in the film. And Roman is Dan Aykroyd. There's also a great scene with the guy, remember, who got struck in the head 68 times in the head. Yeah. I love this movie. There's a really cute love story between John Candy's son and Townie, and the movie's got heart, and it's about family. And maybe some people don't like it. I love it. I've been watching it, like I said, since I was a kid, and I showed it to Paula.
Yes.
And we'll be watching it forever. So number 2, The Great Outdoors, only to be beaten by 1. Dazed and Confused. We had Everybody Wants Some, the sort of sequel to this, on a previous list. And Dazed and Confused is one of the all-time great summer movies. Actually,
this one yet.
We watched parts of it.
Yeah,
remember where they're hanging out at the pool place, and the guy hits him in the butt with the whacker? I haven't shown her this one quite yet. It's still not quite age appropriate, but she's seen parts on the edited version on cable. But I love this movie. It starts, of course, with the last day of school. I believe in 1976, because it's the bicentennial for the United States. And then we get this story about Pink and his friends, and it's the older kids and the younger kids. The freshmen are getting whacked with the things, and they just want to have a party. They want to have a party at the one kid's house, but the delivery guy bricks it, and they have to have the party elsewhere. And you just kind of follow these kids one night in the summer. And the whole movie is pretty much one night. And again, there's really good heart. There's good humor. I know some people think it's, are people who are into DRUGS are into this. That's not me. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not into it for that. But there is some of that. I think it's a little overrated. There's the one cartoonish kid, and that's funny. But they're out there drinking. They're having fun with their friends. It's the ultimate kind of summer thing. Amazing music, all kinds of great 70s rock and roll. We got Alice Cooper's in there. Never Been Any Reason by Head East is in there. Just song after song. Really great soundtrack, and a great summer movie.
Is it Wayne's World?
Nobody can see you. You're down there.
Sorry.
Come up here. Yeah. There you are. What about Wayne's World?
Wayne's World, I think, in the summer.
Well, here's the thing about Wayne's World. It was recently on another list, the movies that we've been watching together.
Oh, yeah.
And it was number 1 on that, so I didn't use it again. Plus, I don't know if it's summer or not.
I feel like it is.
I don't know. I think definitely the Wayne's World 2 is about summer, but I don't know about 1. There it is, top 5 movies about summer, no baseball, and no My Girl. Karate Kid 2, Weekend at Bernie's, American Pie 2, The Great Outdoors, and Dazed and Confused. All right, I want to thank everyone again for watching 3x5 with Steve Bennett and my sidekick, Paula Bennett. Don't forget, you can find us every Tuesday at 10 o'clock on the North-South Connection YouTube page. Please like,
comment,
subscribe. What else?
Turn post notifications on.
Okay, good idea. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, do all those things. This is my YouTube expert.
Yes.
I brought my YouTube expert on to remind you of all those things. Like, comment, subscribe, notification light on. All right.
Because when you do that, you can get notifications about when you get when a new one is a 3x5 or
all the other great content. And I want to mention on the North-South channel, my producer, Ryan Gray, does an unbelievable series previewing the matches for the upcoming pay-per-views. And SummerSlam is coming up. We did the SummerSlam list. Please check out Ryan's previews. I watched last night him and John Hollywood, who is apparently related to Hollywood Dave, They did a preview of Roman Reigns versus whoever Roman Reigns is wrestling. I'm not really sure. But I enjoyed that, and he's going to have matches, previews for all the matches. Check that out. Don't forget the 24-inch podcast. We have a episode coming up with Adam Lazarus and Fred Mangione, who was the COO of the New Jersey Nets. And then the Brooklyn Nets, he opened Barclays, and he's got stories about Jay-Z wanting to change the Nets uniforms like at the last minute. All kinds of good stuff. Sportscasters podcast, 24-inch podcast. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm jumping out with Dave. We're recording Bash at the Beach 94. Paul will be on that, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to plug or mention, Paula?
Please watch the thing because all my friends wanted to be watched on the 24 podcast.
You know what? We don't have a song. So how about, here, come here. How about to say goodbye? Me and you sing a little Two Hearts for everybody.
Okay.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Two hearts living in just one mind, together forever till the
end.
you know where. Two hearts. Thanks everybody. See you next time. We are out.